We continue our study with the third part of chapter 5, which is transformer losses. In the second part or part B, we calculate the ideal transformer. But in the third part, we focus on a real transformer or non-ideal transformer. However, for your courses, you don't have to calculate the real transformer or non-ideal transformer. In an ideal condition, all the power from the primary circuit will be transferred to the secondary circuit. But in reality, all the power is not converted to the secondary circuit. Some of the power will lost to the winding and the core of the transformer. So this power loss is usually abbreviated as PL, okay, or power loss in the transformer. Okay, for ideal, PS is equal to PP, but for non-ideal is PS equals to PP minus PL. So what kind of losses happen in the transformer? Okay, losses are usually cause the transformer to have 80 to 90% percentage efficiency. Okay, this is for electrical is quite low actually. Okay, the efficiency is little bit low because if you look at the power transmission line, okay, it's usually around 98%, but transformer has around 80 to 90% efficiency. So there are quite a lot of loss in the transformer. Usually the transformer are caused by three losses. Okay, the common one is copper losses, which is happen at the winding, and also eddy current and hysteresis losses, which occur at the core of the transformer. So you have to know these losses is undesirable. So a good transformer should have little loss in these three losses, and the efficiency should be higher. We move on to one of the transformer losses, which is copper losses. Okay, when you connect a transformer into a system, AC system, a current will flow through the wire and the winding. Okay, the wire winding, okay, because even though in ideal condition the wire or winding don't have any resistance, but in real life there are actually a little bit of resistance. But because of the winding require a lot of wire, so the resistance can accumulate. That's why we have to consider when we want to calculate the copper winding, the resistance, okay, the power loss in the copper. So this power loss is in the form of heat. How to calculate it is just P copper is equal to I squared R, which is the power equation. Okay, you can see that the R winding is the total resistance of the winding, and I squared, I can be in the primary side and the secondary side. Copper loss happen in both sides. Okay, and you can see that as the higher the current, the higher the power loss. Okay, it's increased exponentially. Okay, but for resistance it's linear, so you have to be careful with this. And usually the solution for this, we cannot change the current because it's depending on the load, so we have to improve the resistance. Okay, we have to use a low resistance copper wire. So it is important to choose a proper diameter for the wire. So if the current is high, we use a large diameter, but for the low current, we have to use a small diameter wire. The second part of the losses is the eddy current losses. So core of the transformer usually made by a ferromagnetic material because it is a good conductor for flux. Okay, when primary current source alternating current source is applied to the primary side, a magnetic flux will be created in the core. So this material will cut down the conducting core. Okay, the fluctuated magnetic field will cut down the magnetic core material, which is the core. Okay, and it will cause a induced voltage. This induced voltage then cause a random current flow, and it is dissipated in the form of heat. And this is the current that flow is called eddy current. Okay, you can see in the animation given here, when the magnetic field moving, because the current in the primary winding will produce a magnetic field changes, magnetic field, like this, and the current will be produced in the core. And it is important to know how to minimize the effect of the eddy current. So just laminate, basically just make the core separate from one another. Okay, so look at the figure. It's like a layer cake. Okay, the core, the metallic part of the core is separated with the insulated electrical insulator, so it's not prevent the current from flowing, prevent the eddy current from flowing easily. So that is how to reduce the power dissipate caused by the eddy current losses. Now we move on to the next part of the losses, which is hysteresis loss. Okay, basically when a magnetic field passing through a core, the core become magnetized. It is normal thing. So if you look above, it is a BH curve. Okay, a magnetic field. Okay, when the magnetic field intensity, H, move to the positive side when it start, it will go to A. Okay, it will go to A. The B is the magnetic field inside the core, and H is the magnetic field intensity. Okay, that exists around the core. So it is if you look here, there is no problem because it just started, but because the supply is AC, so the magnetic field, the H, will be go to the opposite direction. When it go to the opposite direction, the problem is the B will not change instantaneously. Okay, the B, magnetic field cannot change instantly because of the core. Core cannot be magnetized instantaneously, so there will be delay. So it will move from A to B. When the H is 0, B still not 0. Okay, because of the delay, the magnetic still present in the core. Then it will, when the H move to negative side, which is at C, then the B will be 0. And then when H goes to the highest negative side, then the B will be at the D. When the H reduce back to 0, B still exists, at E, and so on. It will move like this. This delay, the area inside the curve is actually the losses. The higher the delay, the larger the losses. This delay is not good. So to overcome this problem, you have to choose a good core material. Good core material usually have smaller area inside the BH curve, the hysteresis curve. But for a bad material, it has larger curve. A larger curve is not very good. It will form a heat loss, in the core. another important part in transformer is how to calculate the efficiency. So basically the formula is the same, P out divided by P in multiplied by 100. So P out is VI PI. So try to remember the formula from chapter 2 and chapter 3. Okay, P in also, P in is the primary side circuit. Okay, so P out, okay, sometimes you don't have the P out, or maybe you don't have the P in, so you can use the formula given before, which is P in equals to P out plus P losses. So just use this, you can get the answer. So this is an example. The input power is 650 watt. The output power is 610 watt. What is the efficiency? So just insert into the formula, you get the answer. We have completed transformer losses, which is chapter 5 part 3. Okay, thank you.